What's up, Backwoods? Tiger, Tammy C, hello. Let me see if I can get this figured out real quick. All right, I'm gonna post the link right here, or I want to pin the link. That's how it works, right? Yeah, pin the link. If this thing will work. There we go. Pin message. All right, there it is, Backwoods. Anybody else wants to come up, hop on up. Sophia, you better be here. Oh, you like that title, Backwoods? After I typed it in, I was like, man, I should have just typed in Sophia's butterfly, but I'd already hit the buttons and I was like, whatever. 13 people here already. Wow, that's crazy. Coming up, Backwoods. I'm waiting. And drinking. Sophia, there's a link. Click it. Come on up. Ain't nobody scared. I know y'all like looking at me here solo in my wife beater, but eventually other people will come up and hang out with me, I hope. If not, we'll just talk about, random shit. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about how the president of the United States stores classified documents in his garage? But the garage has a lock, so that's all good. Or we can talk about how people are just randomly dropping dead. But there's no reason why it's happening. Just must be something in the air or the water or their blood. T96. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. All Democrat states just banned all most common used guns. That's ridiculous. Number one, there's no such thing as a Democrat state because there are Republicans in every state of the union. There may be democratically controlled or Democrat controlled states, but just because the Democrats control the states does not mean they can rewrite the Constitution. A state does not have the power to overturn the Second Amendment. So yeah, they might want to, but that's bullshit. Not trying to be mean or anything. I'm just saying that's probably what they want to do, but yeah, it doesn't work that way. All right, Backwoods says, give me a few. He's refreshing. He's switching out his tampon. He'll be here in a minute. My brother.
Really?
What is up?
That's the best you can come up with, man?
Pretty quick on switching out them corks, ain't you?
Oh, I just had to refresh and go and pee again. And, I've been drinking a lot, so it is what it is.
Oh, you and me both, brother. You and me both. Yeah, T96. I wish I'm gonna put your comment up here. I wish that was a legitimate statement that somebody that represented the Democratic Party would come out and say publicly, just because that would be the step off moment. Because number one, there is no such thing as a Democrat state. All right, there is no such thing as a Democrat state. There are Republicans, Democrats, liberals, independents, and whatever other party you want to claim in every state. There is no such thing as a Democrat state. It may be controlled by Democrats because the idiots in your state voted blue instead of red. But yeah, they don't have the power to take the guns away because the Constitution is not controlled by the states. It's document for the country, you know. So yeah, they can't. I mean, they may try to put in, you know, state regulated gun laws and stuff like that, but as far as a gun ban, not going to happen. I mean, they may try it, and that will be the prologue to the book that they write in history about the next and the last war. But yeah,
man,
Chicago. Hang on. Chicago started passed bills now. They all doing the same. It's both. Look, Chicago can pass laws for Chicago. That's it. Not for the state, not for any other county other than the county that Chicago resides in, and damn sure not for the country. All right. And number one, Chicago's got more issues than they can even. Yeah. So yeah, bullshit's the word. Exactly, T. They shall not be infringed. Where the fuck is Sophia, backwoods? We're here for her. What's going on?
She says she's coming up.
She's got all their toys plugged in, getting the batteries going.
I guess. So, something I wanted to talk about. So, what I've been reading, and from what I can find, so like Trump and Biden, the documents. So Trump has the authority to declassify anything.
Right.
And the way I understand it, he has to do it in the SCIF. I know it's weird, but there's a process that is put in place for him to declassify. And this is what I've been finding. I've been reading up on this, trying to figure out, because I'm gonna tell you, and I mean this the bottom of my heart. If it's wrong, and it was a threat to national security, it was wrong for Trump to do it, and it was wrong for Biden to do it. And I want both of them to be prosecuted, in a court of law.
Here's the big difference. When Joe Biden was the vice president, he did not have the power to declassify anything unless it was a document that he did.
Well,
he had to be in charge. He had to be in charge, a supervisor of said document.
Right.
But he did not have the power to unilaterally declassify any documents, period. But even after that, you had a 4-year span where he was a civilian, and those documents were in his garage by his Corvette. Unsecured.
Right. No,
it's a garage. A garage is unsecured. I don't give a fuck if you got a lock on or not. It's unsecured. The place where Trump had his stuff, not only was it secured, it was secured by the Justice Department. The Secret Service told him to get a lock, told him what kind of lock, and then broke the lock. That. And the thing is, those are two completely different issues. You know what I mean?
Well,
a vice president cannot declassify documents unless the vice president was solely in charge of the content of said documents and it pertained to that individual thing. But as far as hanging on to those documents, that's a presidential privilege. That's not a vice president privilege.
Right. Well, if they and here's the thing: if it even on Trump's side, if they were not declassified before they've left, regardless of who has the authority or not. If they were not declassified before they left, they broke the law. I
True,
mean, I'm
but
just saying.
oh no, no,
It's
no. I'm not disagreeing with that
right,
one single bit. The problem is the way it's worded about the president's ability to declassify documents.
right.
The way it's worded and the way it's interpreted is that if the president has the potential or the potential need to speak on a topic, anything in those documents covered under that topic, he can declassify the minute he opens his mouth and talks about it. So if I have a declassified document as the president and it pertains to the bus route of Greyhound buses through North Carolina, and I go to a meeting at the G6, and for some reason somebody wants to talk about the Greyhound bus routes in North Carolina, and I speak to that topic, those documents are immediately declassified because I had to speak on those documents before or after.
Right, right. But the whole thing about it is that when you, so everything that I can find, again, I've been researching the hell out of some stuff, and I've talked to a few people that I know, it's kind of a little more in the know. Not that they've got some top level clear, just saying, they're a little more in the know. But they're basically saying that what the problem is a lot of times, like where they're going, their lunch menus,
Right.
their time they're going to lunch, that
Right.
stuff is all classified.
Right.
See, we got to keep this in mind, and this is what I think, if people would stop with the stupidity of just blowing up and grabbing to one side and going, "Oh, I just love this guy, and I'm going to vote this way no matter what." Instead of doing that, if they would open up their minds and they would just read everything you can find about whatever topic it is you're really passionate about.
Well, what you just said is the key to it. Everything the president does, everything he says, everywhere he moves, everything he touches is technically classified. So when you're the president of the United States, if you're keeping a diary, that's legit classified information. So, in order to stop all this bullshit, because every president has their own library. Clinton's got his library in Little Rock. Everybody's got their own little library with all these declassified documents. But
right,
honestly, there's no reason for the president to leave the White House and bring anything with him except for the bags full of money in that huge bank account that he earned while he was president. You know what I mean? Why are you bringing notes and letters and diaries? You know what I mean? So, there's no reason for anybody to have documents, classified documents.
I agree.
Especially if they're one-off documents. That's a whole different story.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was trying to say. I think that any term of any president, vice president, Speaker of the House, majority leaders, but I think any of them, once they leave Congress, they should no longer have anything pertaining to Congress.
Here's the messed up part. Every president that's still alive gets a classified security debrief daily, if not weekly.
Right.
Like they're still alive. They get a classified briefing. Well, probably verbal. It's probably not on paper. So you can't like draw a line on how to deal with classified, not classified. If you are the boss, now you're not the boss, you get no cheese. Sophia, what's up?
That's what I was wanting to say hi to Sophia. What are you doing there, chickie sister?
I'm fucking buzzed as a motherfucker. Everyone's fucking buzzed. Like, everyone's starting to make their beds. And I'm like, come on, it's only 2. Let's go, guys.
What? Everybody went to bed?
Yeah, they're starting to.
Tell them I said get to it. Go in there and tell Monique and Ohio, I said to fix me a motherfucking sandwich. I want to see both of their hands on that motherfucker doing what they're supposed to do.
Bitch. Are you showing us live? Are you showing us live?
Yeah, Liza.
What kind of sandwich you want?
He said you all need to make him a sandwich.
I want 4 hands on that motherfucker making me a
Roots.
sandwich.
Get up here, Roots.
I'm fucking dead.
Get up here, Roots.
I see. I wasn't picking on Jen because she was.
I like to pick on Jen.
So yeah.
So we had 2 canimals down tonight. 2 down, 2 to go.
Man, y'all are wussies.
Not even. I'm still sitting here, ain't I?
What?
Monique's still here. Liza's still here.
Well, Liza's on the floor.
Well, Liza's sitting. She's relaxed.
You already went down like 3 fucking times tonight, Sophia.
Yeah, but like the only reason I shut it down is because there was a situation that had to be taken care of.
No, I'm not talking about the stream. I'm talking about you hitting the goddamn floor.
Did y'all see me on the ground?
Every time.
I removed that stream. I fucking put it to private.
Jen grabbed the camera and brought it under the table.
No,
and it showed you laying there on your back and asking for help and rolling it up. Oh yeah,
Monique did.
Was that Monique? All right, Monique.
Yeah, being naughty.
Yeah.
I've got a hell of an idea, y'all, that I've been working on a design, and I'm fixing to start building.
What's the idea?
It is a sexual cattail whip.
Now, backwoods, why are you trying to get me excited like that?
I'm not bullshitting. I'm not bullshitting. This thing is going to be sweet.
Has anybody ever heard of Ghost Creeper?
No.
243.
No.
What are you talking about, Ghost?
No.
What are you talking about, Ghost Creeper?
Okay,
I don't know. He's talking about Hell's Angels.
All kind of random stuff in the chat here.
I'm definitely not a Hell's Angels. I don't know. I would never claim that. Them people are not anybody to play with.
It's like usually when I see a new name in the chat, I want to say hello, or usually they say hello and everybody reacts, and I just get somebody just pops up and just like random comments and nobody's talking about it. And I'm just like, what's up? What's up, Ghost Creeper? Who are you? You got good intentions, or are you here to hurt my feelings?
What?
Man, if he's here to hurt your feelings, he better fucking pack a lunch and bring a motherfucking flashlight.
Since I don't have any. Good job. Good luck with that.
Right?
Man, I don't know. Yeah, I've got some little beads that are gonna go on the end and shit, and yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a whip.
Now, are you gonna send this to me to test out?
Well, I'll have to. I've actually thought about making 3 or 4 of them with specific names on them.
Okay, well, I need one with my name on it, and shut up, Monique. I thought you, Carbon Q, Monique, Ohio for sure. No, for sure. I need one, and I need one by March. I need one by March, Backwoods. I'm legit. It'll get tested out for sure.
What you're saying is stay prepped, but you're talking to a ghost prepper, Backwoods and prepping. You're talking to Sophia B, who is we're all preppers, man. I mean,
hey, he might just be a new guy. We never heard of him before. It's all good.
We're not. Yeah, What up, G-Maw? There's my favorite person. Man,
I agree with what his statement said. Okay, so Mexico is invading. No, it's not Mexico. They're just coming through Mexico. There's a whole lot of people invading.
Well, Mexico is allowing it. I mean,
that's just a door.
Well, they can't. Mexico. Just to be honest, Mexico really can't do shit about it because the cartels have it. On lockdown. I mean,
it's not Mexico. It's the cartels holding the door open.
Yeah. That's where they make all their money, man.
It's shit we're gonna deal with for the next decade, if not longer. That's probably gonna be, 10 years from now. In my eyes, that's gonna be our biggest issue. Is the cartels and their influence on the Southwest, eventually the entire West. And it's gonna migrate like a fucking cancer.
Oh, Roots, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's a bunch, Yankee, a bunch.
Oh yeah,
countries coming through the border. No
And it's
doubt.
not just South America. I mean, you got terrorists and immigrants from across the pond. They'll catch a flight or a boat to South America and hop on a bus or a van that we're fucking paying for in the convoy, and bring them to the fucking border.
Think about it like this. Let's go to the backwoods conspiracy time. Okay, so you got fentanyl running through the border like rampant, right? Coming through like crazy. Where does the fentanyl come from? China, right? So you got fentanyl coming through the border, who is supplied by China. So you're telling me that China couldn't say, "Hey, we're going to send a big drug deal, big load of drugs across the border over here, where all them damn border patrol is. Meanwhile, we're going to sneak all these Chinese people over, communist CCP over the border, right?" You see what I'm saying?
Just think about it. China controls the supply chain. China is literally educating your children. I'm a teacher, and TikTok has more influence over the kids in my class than the content that I teach them, because it's more engaging. And China controls the fentanyl. Tell me we're not already at war.
Oh, absolutely, man.
And that's the one thing that Trump wanted to do when he was in office that he didn't do, and I wish he would have, was ban TikTok.
Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat, man. You can look at it as a playbook from a football team, the offense. If you think about it, there's many different plays to get to the end goal, man. You do some running plays, you do some pass plays, you do some little options and stuff, and
Yeah.
and that's what they're doing, man. Is they don't have to actually come and fight. They can literally just do what they're doing and destroy the country from within. It's like a rotten apple, man. And I don't remember which one. I think it was actually a Japanese that said this, and I can't remember. Ghost, you're the teacher, you might remember, but there was a teacher that said basically, about that you can't defeat America. You have to do it like a rotten apple, like a barrel of apples. Eat it from the inside out.
It's the only way. And that's what they're doing now.
Wasn't that a Japanese guy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Japanese, or I'm not positive. I won't put a stamp on it, but I'm pretty sure it was a Japanese. It was a Japanese.
Yeah, I think it was a Japanese dude that said it.
And Ghost Creeper, I appreciate your input. I really do. But here's the thing: if you literally, if you're one of the Americans that actually believes that Fort Knox has a whole bunch of gold in it,
why would you literally
I don't.
fight Vietnam and not literally fight to
that stuff's
Federal Reserve?
I honestly think Fort Knox.
You know what I think?
Fucking empty.
You know what I think?
Moved a long time ago.
You know what I think?
What's up?
I think Ghost Creeper is a FBI or some shit, man. He's a Fed.
Ain't no telling. He might be a good guy. We'll see.
He's a Fed.
But yeah, I mean, here's the thing: if Fort Knox was full of gold, and we're proud of it, like we say we are, and we've got an armored division surrounding it, they would show pictures of it. Because Americans are what? We're fucking arrogant. We have to show off all the shit we got. That's what we do. We have to flaunt it. We flaunt everything we have: big houses, big cars, big fake ass booty women, big fat ass booty. But Fort Knox, you can't see it.
See, all you got to do is let them talk. It's bad, man.
You don't, and I don't know. A bunch of us aren't skin color wise a bunch of sleepers. What are you fucking talking about, Ghost Creeper?
I told you, man, that's a Fed. He's trying to get you to react to that and say something stupid.
Sounds like ghetto.
A Fed or a troll. I mean, either. And I mean,
Yeah.
a Fed is a troll.
No telling. There's a few wrenches in here. If he gets out of line, y'all bang him on the head.
Well, that's just all I'm saying.
But right now he's just
talking about racial shit. Who the fuck? Man, you come to the wrong fucking channel with that bullshit.
There ain't nobody racial in this channel.
We don't do that. We don't play that racist shit, man. That's
all I know is G-Mall Merkel's in here, and if somebody gets sideways, they're gonna get slapped the shit out of real quick. So
I got a wrench. I got a wrench. I would have done slapped him out of my channel.
Call it up like we always do.
Gentlemen, I gotta take off. I'm sorry.
All right, Sophia.
I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
Love you, sis.
Love you too. Have a good night. And Ghost Creeper, if you don't have anything pertinent to add to the conversation, get the fuck out.
Or come on up on the panel.
I hate that fucking racist shit, man. Any of that shit. I hate it.
Anybody here racist?
Stupid.
Call it up like
shit,
we
dude.
always
do. It is a division fucking tactic, man, and I fuck that shit.
Here's the thing about racism, and I probably should do a video or a stream on this, but I honestly don't have any problem with somebody being racist. I really don't. If you don't like me because I'm white, that's your personal choice. I don't care. I really don't. And me telling you that you're wrong for not liking me because I'm white and I'm somehow down the lines related to somebody that was an oppressor that oppressed other people. Don't buy into that shit. You know, I don't really care because it doesn't really fucking matter to me, because nothing you tell me is going to change my mind. Nothing I tell you. If you go on TV and you say racism is wrong, you need to stop being racist, but in your heart you don't like green people, nothing I tell you is going to make you like green people. You be you. If you don't like me because of my color, wear it on your shirt. I don't like white people. Cool, no problem. We ain't gonna hang out. It is what it is.
Ghost.
Yep.
Don't play that motherfucker no mind, man.
I ain't worried about him.
Real talk.
I was actually literally thinking about doing a stream on this about racism, because I love the topic, because the whole world's involved in racism and how it's wrong. It's so wrong. Here's the thing. I don't think it's really wrong, because it's an innate choice that you make to like chocolate ice cream versus vanilla or strawberry. If you don't like yellow people, there's nothing I can do I can't guilt you into hanging out with somebody from Asia if you don't like yellow people. That's just your personal choice on the people that you want to be around. How is that wrong? I mean, literally, if people want to start talking about racism and how do you fix it, how about address the simple fact that it really doesn't exist? There's no such thing as racism. You've attached an inflammatory word to a person's choice of who they want to hang out around or be with. So why are we making up reasons for people to argue and disagree? If I don't like black people, there's nothing you can fucking do to make me change my mind about that. You're not going to rehabilitate me. If I don't like yellow people, there's nothing you can do. For instance, I can't fucking stand Indian food. It's not the flavor. It's not that I don't like people from India. It's the smell of the food. When I smell Indian food, I legitimately lose my fucking appetite. There's nothing you can do that's going to change that. It doesn't mean that I'm racist towards Indian people. It's a personal choice, a biological choice for me that I do not want to eat Indian food. If you say that I'm wrong and I'm a bad person for that, go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit. I'm still not going to eat it. I don't give a fuck how many commercials you put out. I don't care if you get the NFL to put it on the helmets or whatever fuck else you do. It's a personal choice. So to attach a word, oh, you're racist, and you make up a word that means you just can't get along with civilization. I mean, you're out there inventing your own enemies. How about you do you, I'll do me, and fuck off if we can't agree. It's all good. All right, what did I miss? Sorry, I got off on a tangent. I apologize. That doesn't explain China. What are you talking about? Nothing can explain China.
Hey, Ghost.
Nerd, what's going on, Prepper Nerd? What's going on?
Ghost, listen to me, bro.
Yeah, man.
So I was watching Charlie Kirk today, and or I was listening. I had bills to go pay, stuff like that. You know, pick up my check, yada yada. Pick up some stuff. So I was listening to Charlie Kirk, and something that he said today, because some stuff I hear, you know, because I'm like this with anybody, man. You know, I don't agree with 100% with what anybody says. You know,
Right.
I have my own thoughts, but something he said that really stuck to me was, you know, the whole idea of racism, you know, and the people that push it, they should look in the mirror and think about what they are doing. You know what I'm saying? That how they portray themselves. You know, it just gets to it. Man, I'm trying to.
Well, the thing is, if you classify somebody as racist, you're saying that a personal choice about how they live their life is somehow put under a microscope and it's wrong. So how can you not immediately flip that over to your sexual preference and say that if you're not male, female, female, male, then you're
but
racist?
hold on. See, here's the thing, bro.
You can't do that.
Here's the thing, man, is that all they're trying to do is trying to get you, or trying to get whoever goes live. They're trying to get them to they are trying to get you to basically follow their talking points. They want to get you fired up and talk to you, man. Fuck them people, man. It gets to a point to where I'll finish what Charlie Kirk was saying here. It gets to a point to where I don't even want to talk to them people no more. And
Right.
He was talking about starting a movement this year to, if all you want to do is talk a bunch of stupid racist bullshit, and all you want to do is talk about, you know, division, then hashtag you gotta fucking go, son. You know, you're out of
All
here.
right. I like that.
We don't. Yeah. Hashtag you gotta go, son. You know, because we don't.
I mean, there's no such thing as racism. Racism does not
Hold
exist.
Hold on. I know, but I'm trying to get to the point I'm trying to make, Ghost, is because this really, you know, stuck to me today, is that I don't want to argue with them people no more. I don't want to talk to these fucking people no more, because the only racism that exists is what they talk about, you know, and if they get us involved in talking about the shit, then it never goes away. So
Right.
I want to get away from these people, and some people can say, well, backwoods, man, you're fucking denying people their First Amendment right. No, I'm not. You have the right to come to my channel and talk that bullshit. But understand, see, the part that y'all are missing is there is fucking consequences to what you say. If you know, when you come on acting stupid and saying a bunch of stupid bullshit, see, the cool thing about it is that when I do it on my channel, that's my channel. That's my channel. That's me. So if I don't want to listen to your dumb bullshit, because you know what I'm saying, Ghost, to these people, man, I'm tired of arguing with them, man. I'm not even going to listen to them. I'm not even going to entertain them no more. Let's go back to the conversation that we were actually having before that about the fentanyl coming over the border, and looking at what's going on, and trying to figure out what we need to do, man, because it's not getting any better, man. And yes, I agree.
It's not going to get any better because they don't want it to get any better.
Well, but at some
that's
point, we're going to have to do a high velocity exchange of ideas, man. And
oh yeah,
I want to do it as legal as
that's
possible.
Definitely going to happen, but that's where that fuck, bro. It goes right back to racism because it's fentanyl comes from Mexico. The fentanyl comes from China. That's where the racism comes back into it. And honestly, I think if society,
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, Ghost.
We don't make fentanyl
sorry,
here,
brother, but hold on. It does not include racism. We are looking at true facts. That's it. The facts are the fucking fentanyl is coming from China. That's the facts. This has nothing to do with racism. Look, dude, let me tell you something. If China was coming across the border and showing us ways to produce food even better and helping us and being our friends and you know, doing things that we're, you know what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is
out and stuff like that, and we're helping
not
each
racist,
other out.
but they will make it racist.
But see, that's what I'm saying. We got to stop allowing these
That's
people.
What I'm saying. It's a non-obligatory word. It doesn't mean anything. Racism is a made-up word. It's an archaic designation to a person of a certain class or color, demeaning a person or people of another class or color. So now that we know that the fentanyl comes from China and it's funneled up through Mexico, now all of a sudden we have two races to be angry at: the yellow people and the brown people.
But no, that's that.
I'm not saying that's my view. I'm saying that's the view they're going to shove down our throat when all this shit blows up.
I know. This is why I said we got to stop fucking with these people and just tell them enough's enough. We're not listening to you no more. We're doing our fucking thing, and you will leave us alone, or we will punch you in the fucking teeth.
Here's my problem.
You know, I'm tired of the bullshit.
If I was the governor of Texas right now, and honestly I can't remember the fucking dude's name or the lady's name. I'm pretty sure it's a guy. I would shut down the fucking border. I don't need the federal government's permission to shut down the border of Texas, even though the southern border of Texas is also the southern border of the United States. Give them like a 6-inch margin. Give the federal government 6 inches of Texas along the border and run your fucking wall. If they can put their people in between those 6 inches, that's fine. But I would legitimately call up the entire guard, the state guard, the National Guard, and shut down the goddamn border. Why not? Everybody wants to talk about Texas this, Texas that. Texas could succeed. Well, fucking do it. Shut down the fucking border.
See,
do it.
Texas,
I would.
Texas, it's a real easy fix for Texas, man. It's a real easy fix. All they got to do is come, whatever the boundary line is, you know, because they have that right of way, the federal government, you know. Whatever that right of way that they claim on the border is the federal government's. You come, you know, 500 yards on the other side of that right of way, and you build a fucking wall. Build a hell of a fucking wall and drive giant fucking holes.
That's exactly what I just said. Yeah.
Yeah.
What Texas needs to do is go back to the beginning of history when Texas was Texas, and find out how the federal government is taxing Texas, and make sure to subtract the entire square footage of that right of way from the taxes that Texas has been paying to the federal government, and make sure they get a fucking refund. Because if that's the federal right of way and Texas has no cause to talk about it, then Texas should not be charged for that right of way.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, okay. Y'all want to talk about the racism for a minute? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the real deal. I'll tell you the real deal about racism, okay? It is a sick fucking thing to do to a child, to tell that child that the man is always going to be against you. You can never survive. It is a sick fucking message to tell children. There is no child out there that should have to be told that should even have to experience that. We are so far far advanced and nobody fucking does nothing, man. Everybody's all worried about fucking money, and that's it. They're worried about money and power, man. I just want to be the governor of this fucking place and the governor of that and the mayor of this place, and they want to just make a bunch of money and drive around and tell the peasants what to fucking do while, you know, they're going out and getting the fucking haircuts and eating at the restaurants and having fucking wedding parties and shit. And people are not seeing this. Meanwhile, they'll come out and go, oh, the Republicans or, you know, this group or that group, they tell you, you know, they don't want to wear a mask, man. They're deniers. They're this, they're that, you know, and they just steadily call you names. And I'm sick of it, man. I'm tired of talking to these people, man. It's like, you know, it's wrong to fuck with a child, period. That comes from early in the womb till they're until they're an adult. It is wrong to sexualize and fuck with a child, period. And I'm just tired of these people, man. It's like I'm done. I'm not going to argue with you. And if you try to call me stupid fucking names, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking teeth. And you know what? If I get a fucking ass whooping, I'll take a fucking ass whooping. I've had them before and I've gave them. And by God, I can promise you, if you whoop my ass, the next time you see me, you got to whoop it again, because we're gonna fight. I'm just telling you, I'm tired of this shit, man. Dude, I'm tired.
Here's the thing. I've been in a lot of fights in my life, and honestly, I can tell you, I have never won a fight. Every fight I've ever been in, the next morning I woke up sore with a little bit of regret, because usually there was alcohol involved. Here's the thing. You don't really win a fight. You don't really lose a fight. That's the thing. You don't really win or lose a fight. It's a way for you to physically manifest your emotional feelings about a situation. You know, to me, when you get into a fight, either one side or both sides made a mistake when they could have worked this shit out. And that's where the racism comes in, because everybody's a racist. Racist this, racist that. You know, look at my skin. You know, I'm not completely white. You know, technically I'm a person of color because I'm biracial. I'm way biracial. But, you know, you can't come to me as a Christian black person and preach racism.
Listen,
or a Christian, any color person, and preach racism and rely on the Bible as your crutch, your foundation, when the birthplace of all humanity was Africa.
Listen, straight up, Ghost, man. The reason I say enough's enough, and I've had enough, I'm done with this shit. Today, this is what fucking set me off. Today, a university declared the word field as insensitive and racist, and it cannot be used anymore on their campus.
What word? What's the word?
Field. F-I-E-L-D. Field. Like football field, soccer field.
This happened in Arkansas?
No, hell no. Shit.
Okay.
Hell no.
I was like,
I can't remember the university. You'll have to, somebody can look it up if you don't mind.
We got a new guest coming up. Flow State, what's going on, my brother?
What's up, Flow State?
What's up, guys? Just driving home and saw you were on, and figure I'd say what's up.
I appreciate you hanging out with us, brother.
Yeah, the word field has been banned on this college campus because it makes people feel a certain way, because there used to be a term called field, the N word.
Oh, so, you mean cotton field, corn field,
and field,
watermelon field. Yeah. Yes. I'm over it. I don't give a shit. It's all bullshit.
But I'm just saying, man. Why do we have to ban the word field? Why can't we just come out and acknowledge, everybody, that the field N word, was a bad word and it should never be used again. You know what I'm saying? It was a fucked up. It was meant to be derogatory, man. and it don't need to be used no more. So we can
All right, so
all
here's
agree
what blows my
that,
mind.
I still
N-word's
should be able to
bad.
call it the fucking field out there, man. I went hunting in the field. It's the fucking football field. It's the soccer
So
field.
here's the hypocrisy of it. The N-word is bad, but the word slave is accepted. Where's the hypocrisy in that? How's that work out?
Because slave was a term that was used as identifying someone.
Keep going.
The N-word was a derogatory term. It was made to degrade or talk about a lesser person.
Exactly. The term slave covers people and peoples of multiracial, multicolor, multi-background, and religious backgrounds. The term slave covers everybody on the fucking planet, because everybody on the planet has been a slave to somebody else at some point in time. It's not a black-owned word. It's not. That's not how it works. You know, and
we're all slaves.
PA said, "Damn, why the hell will I call the 125 acres in the back of my house racial acres of corn?"
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Psychological warfare, and it is. That's what I'm getting at. It's like I've had enough, man. I'm tired of this shit, dude. God dang, man, if you, dude, really, if
honestly,
if a word offends you, you seriously need to seek help, and I would be glad to help you as well. There's not it's okay. I mean, we will accept you, we will love you, and we will help you get through these terrible words that are offending you, and so that you can get on with your life and be productive for not only your family or the people around you, but for yourself.
You know what? I think I'm gonna start a YouTube. I think it would be awesome if it would like catch on, but I want to make fun of racism, because I think racism is bullshit. I think it's a made up, fake ass word to produce victims. All right, they're not, and don't get me wrong. There's nobody on this channel, and I dare say anybody in the chat, that says that slavery is good. But here's the fucked up part about it. Slavery still exists right now today, and it's bigger than it was in the 17 and 1800s in the United States. One of the largest slave owners in the United States of America, one of the first slave owners in the United States of America, was a black man. So when people synonymously want to antiquate the word slavery with the color black, and that's not the way it works. There's a reason why it's called the African slave trade, and why it's not called the North American slave trade, because it wasn't invented in North America. It existed in Africa, but we didn't, like, colonists or whoever the fuck it was that came over from Europe didn't land in Africa and say, hey, you know what? If we just like ran out and grabbed a whole bunch of natives and put them on a boat, and we could bring them here, and all of a sudden no, slavery already existed. African kings were enslaving other native tribes and selling them back and forth. That's what's called the African slave trade. The colonizers in America just went and bought, and I'm sorry to say it the way it is, and I'll be honest with it, because I'm not pulling the punches, a product that everybody else was buying. And it's a messed up situation. It never should have happened this wrong, but for one population of the planet to be persecuted for the African slave trade is just fucking, it's short-sighted, wrong, and ignorant.
What say you, Flow State?
Do what?
I think that slavery is also intentionally conflated with bondage, so that we don't realize that we're all actually slaves. If you don't own, the war on drugs means that we have second right to our own bodies. after the government, and income tax means we have second right to the fruits of our labor after the government. So we're all slaves. It's just soft slavery. We don't understand what it is. And we're also all slave owners if we own an iPhone, for instance.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't own an iPhone.
Yeah, I
never
don't
had
have
one, never will.
either.
But
I don't either, but my daughter does and my girlfriend does. So
I mean,
my kids have iPhones, man. We bought them Galaxies at first, and they were offended and shit, so we had to get them iPhones, man. Fucking shit. And I'm like, man, what the hell, man? That's bullshit. But man, we have just got to stop listening to these fuckers, man. It's like we've had enough, man. I'm not entertaining the idea of any of this bullshit any longer. The fact of the matter is when you point it out, I just want to look at facts. That's all I care about. Right now, it's not all of them. Now, this is something that everybody needs to understand. No group at all, no identified group are all necessarily radical. There's a big difference. The Chinese, not all Chinese people are radical. There are some Chinese that wants to get the hell away from what's going on over there, and they just want freedom of America. The Mexicans, I have some Guatemalans live right across the street from me. They came from Guatemala, and they came here legally, and they just want to work, man. They're good people. They're good neighbors. But you also have the radical side of things, so like the drag queens, man, there's some of them that are radical as fuck, man. And what they're doing is, they're trying to sexualize children, man. And that shit needs to stop. There are actually other drag queens out there that are speaking out against this. There is LGBTQ that's speaking out against. There's Chinese that's speaking out against the Chinese and what they're doing. There is some defectors from North Korea that are speaking out against what North Korea is doing. There's people from the United States. So we need to stop racializing and categorizing on a broad spectrum, because that's not the way it works. See, there are radicals in all sectors. All 3%ers are not radical. They're not out there trying to kidnap fucking people and shit. That not all. I mean, you see what I'm saying? We really need to stop with the bullshit, with the racism, man. It needs to go away, man. And we just need to point out wrong is wrong and right is right, and it all comes down to morals. That's all it is to it, man. What kind of morals do you have? That's all there is to it.
And that's why they have to confuse the moral foundation for people.
Here's the thing. I'm a teacher. My job is not to teach your children morals. It never should be. It never should have been. That's not a teacher's job. I teach you to add, subtract, multiply, divide, and how to communicate in public. That's my job as an educator. Your job as a parent to teach your kids the birds and the bees and how to act morally in a civilization, period. This shit started getting fucked up in the late 80s or early 90s when they started putting sex education in school. That's not what school's for. That's what mommy and daddy are for. When you release that burden from mommy and daddy, then all of a sudden they get to blame the system for their kids turning out fucked up, stupid, and confused. It's fucking wrong. It is wrong.
I think we need more Victoria's Secret catalog
conversation with kids. How the fuck how are we, I mean, we're all mature males here right now. How are the three of us even legitimately reduced to actually having to have a conversation about drag queen shows in schools? This topic should never even, I mean,
I agree.
If you want to be gay, I have several family members that are gay and lesbian. Never had a problem with it. Never will. Never once. I ran several bars. One of them, a couple were gay bars. And honestly, my most favorite bar I ever hung out with hung out at was a gay bar, because everybody was cool. It was great. They knew I was straight. Nobody messed with me. But it wasn't like there was no hidden agenda. I'm not pretending to be a girl. I'm a dude that likes dudes. Do your thing, bro. I got no problem with that. If you're a dude that likes dudes, rock and roll, man. We're good.
Whoa, hold on.
If you're a chick that likes chicks, you do you. We're cool.
I thought you were coming out.
Don't do this whole crossover thing to where I have to accept you pretending to be something that you biologically, sexually, and realistically will never be. If you're born a dude, you will never in a million years be a girl. If you're born a girl, you will never be a guy. You can chop your titties off and put your scar videos on TikTok all you want and dance around all proud, but you're still a girl. Now you're a girl that if you have a child, somebody else has to produce milk to feed your kid, because you're a non-functional part of the human society.
You know what sucks about the whole thing? Oh, was you, Flow State? We've been talking a lot. Was you wanting to say something? You unmuted your mic. Go ahead, man.
Oh, I think I just pulled up, and so like the road noise is gone, so I just left it on.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I mean, if you wanted to talk, go ahead. I've got some shit I wanted to say, but go ahead. No,
have at it.
Well, all right. So absolutely, racism exists. We all know this. I mean, it's you're never going to get people in general together, because and it doesn't always have to do with skin color. That's the thing that a lot of people are missing, because there's racism and there's prejudice. So let's say, I've heard many times, see, this is why I don't go to church anymore. I don't do religion no more. I have a personal relationship with my God. That's between me and him. But I don't do religion no more, because, like, for instance, there was some people that came to our church that I was going to, and they were not dressed up. You know what I'm saying? And some people kind of looked down on them. And I'm like, see, that's prejudice. You know what I'm saying? That's you're having a prejudiced thought towards someone, and it don't always have to do with, that's the problem.
It's not love. For sure, it's not love.
Yeah, and it's not. So if I say that dude over there is looking criminal and shit, it don't have anything to do with what color they are, or what race they are, or nationality, or whatever. It's just the actions that the person is portraying. You know what I'm saying? It's so, just like with the church, because the people didn't have the money to buy the nice clothes, people look down on them, and that's a prejudice. You know what I'm saying? That has a certain thing that we need to understand, that it's not always about racism, man. There are racist people out there. I know some. They're racist motherfuckers, and I've told them, and I don't hang around with them. I don't like them. You know what I'm saying? I don't go down that fucking road.
But you can't solve it by obsessing on it to death.
Right.
You can't obsess it to death.
Exactly. The best thing to do is to ignore the fuck out of it.
Dude, I grew up in the 90s. There was I don't remember any racism at all.
Exactly. Bro, dude, in the 80s, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, dude, that was some of the best times as far as it goes for no real racism, man, because people were against the man. You remember that shit? Back in the day, man, when we were against the man, we were all united against the man, the government, the police that was being tyrannical. We were all together on that shit. The government looked at that and said, man, these people are getting too much together. We've got to throw some fucking salt in their game. So, hey, this group over here is racist, and them people are racist, and they're homophobe, and they're xenophobe, and they're gynophobe, and they're, and just, you got to be all this fucking shit. And
did you say vaginophobe?
Yeah, I did. I said gynophobe. Well, I mean, wouldn't a person that don't want no Jana be a Jana
Hey, it makes sense. I just hadn't heard the word. It sounds like a terrible
Yeah.
thing to be afraid of.
You can ask Ghost. I'm notorious for making up words,
Yeah, he does a lot.
like crazy words
Wow.
and shit. You'd be like, wait, that makes sense, but
And
I've
it's
never
funny
heard
that you said that, Backwoods, because the term racist or racism is a made up word. Even though all words are made up, I mean, the race, there's a human race. We're all humans.
Right.
So if
Right.
you're racist, by definition, you hate every other living being on the planet.
Is that it would be we're all human species. There's different
No.
races, right?
It's a race. We all came from Africa. We all came from the same genetic pool. We're all the same, any color, every color.
At the end of the day, the people who really benefit from racial identity is people in charge who can just look and identify. Like, what a basic ass way
Exactly.
to
It's not about
group
race. It's
up
about
the
power.
town.
It's about who's in charge. It's about who sits on the Iron Throne. Who's the one calling the shots? If you can make it about race, if you're sitting on the throne and you have 10 million people that live in your purview, and you have 5 different colors of people, and you can divide them into colors and make sure there's internal strife, then they're too busy arguing with each other to get strong enough to fuck with you.
Exactly.
Well, and they automatically they're labeled with their faction. You don't have to figure out who's on what side. You could just look and know.
Exactly.
Well, see, and that's what I was getting at a while ago. That the government looked upon us when we were all going against the man, and they were making songs about it, and from all different genres of music, and we were partying and having fun and breakdancing and fucking wearing the long hair and the skinny jeans and the pullover shirt, you know what I'm saying, with nothing underneath and it unbuttoned, and we were doing all these different things and partying and having a good time, and everybody was partying together, and the government was like, man, we can't have all these people united like this.
Ah, you're talking about the 90s.
Yes, exactly. We can't have all these people together like this, man, because once they all get together and they all agree that we got to go against the man, guess what happens? We start exposing and start standing up and not voting for these stupid fucking people to be up there. And people can say all they want to about well, it's selected and it's a big club and we ain't in it. The only reason we ain't in the club is because we're too divided to fucking have our own club that is more powerful than theirs. This is what people are not understanding. We are 10,000 times more powerful than the fucking government is.
Well,
because let me tell you something.
But voting validates it.
Well,
voting
everybody
is a validation.
Real quick, and I'll be quiet for a minute and let y'all talk. Everybody needs to understand that there are also government people out there that are just like us, and they go and they will when the shit hits the fan, when the high velocity exchange of ideas start happening, they will be on our fucking side, and they will say enough. I'm not putting up with that shit. So therefore, they will already have lost. We will lose some too, but you know what? We're the fucking strong because we're 350 million strong. Now, take away half of that. What's half of 350 million? 125 million, right? Something like, no, 150.
Ghost is the teacher.
150.
What was the question?
175 million. 175 million. All right. Half that and half that and half that. You know what I'm saying? And get down to even 3%. What's 3% of 150 million? Or 350 million?
350.
It's 3.5 million, right? Or it'd be like 10 million. It'd be about 10 million.
Be about 10 million people. Tell me what army can fuck with that.
Yeah. I mean, here's the problem though. I mean, look at China. If you want to talk about numbers.
China, though, has an army, and they are set to a standard, and they are still trained this way from everything that I can find about it, because I study a lot of this shit.
The big
They are
issue,
still trained to be a warrior, as in almost like the old school stupid way of fighting of the gentleman kind of thing, where you got to rush in, you got to be that, you got to die for your country, as in
well,
you got to rush in, they'll rush you, and man,
China made a huge mistake 2 or 3 decades ago. China made a huge mistake, and they did the whole one-child policy thing.
Yes.
They basically,
yes,
because right now, I think it's somewhere along the lines of 60, if not 70% of China's population is over the age of 40 or 45. Like, literally, China will die out in the next couple of decades.
We're not doing much better in the West.
Crash.
No, we're not doing any better
by their own design. You know what I mean? So the
it's not their well.
No, that was their design. You know,
Yeah,
the one child, male, the whole 9 yards. And it's you can look it up on the internet right now. Their population growth, the way it's expanded, like it should be a triangle. The oldest at the top and the youngest at the bottom. China's goes like a pair. It's completely.
What's ours like?
Like it's really bad.
Well, that's
granted, they have like 10 times the amount of people of any other country on the planet. So numbers wise, it still kind of equals out. But math wise, in the end, in 20 years, it's going to equal out. Like it's because they're like, if you took how many 20 something, how many people between the ages of 20 and 30 in America versus 20 and 30 in China, it's really, really close. They still have more, but not like a whole lot more. But as far as population wise, they have 10 times the amount of people. It's just 70% of those people are above the age of 50 or 60 years old.
Yeah, but see, all right. So China had their own thing, but if you look into what they did and why they did it, you can also see, it was about population growth. And if there's some stuff going on right now that I'm seeing that is pretty crazy, actually. But if you look at what's going on with Davos and the World Economic Forum, if you look at what's going on with that, do you know they're about to meet and they've got a 500, was it 500 or 5,000 troop? They've got 5,000 troops that are going to be protecting them at their next meeting at Davos. Why is that?
They have their own World Economic Forum law enforcement.
Yes,
unit.
That's what I'm saying. There's going to be 5,000 people, 5,000 militarily trained people there protecting them at this next meetup. And there's a reason for that, and people need to be aware. Everybody thinks that we can't be invaded. We already have been.
Well, we've been slowly getting invaded since 2000.
They're just waiting on the text message, bro.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, everybody better understand this and get ready. There are people in this country right now that all they're doing is waiting on a text message. You can call it conspiracy theory all you want to, because that is just a CIA term to try to downplay the truth.
And it's not the bottom border.
There's only a couple of ways to invade the United States of America. Conventional warfare. Conventional. Not nuclear, but conventional. There's only a couple of ways. You got to come in from the north and you got to come in from the south. Period. Coming in from the north is very, very, very hard militarily because of the temperature, bottom line. It's just really, really hard to maneuver in those kind of temperatures. But coming in from South America, oh my God, bro.
If you own the Canadian ports, it's very easy.
It's very easy, but here's the thing. You still have to deal with temperature. You still have to deal with the people. the terrain. There, look at a map of Canada. I mean, 80% of the people that live in Canada live within like what, a 2-hour drive from the U.S. border. I mean, everybody in Canada lives like right by the U.S. They're literally like in our attic. 80% of Canada is uninhabited. So when you look at it, it's like, oh, Canada's huge. Like, no, they're all like right here by us. It's very uninhabitable. It's very hard to maneuver. It's very hard to maneuver troops. You can't feed them. You can't supply
Canada
them.
has a really, really,
Coming up through
really
South America, the Panama Canal, up through Mexico, very, very easy, especially since the border's wide open. It's very pleasant temperature-wise, and it's very easy to maneuver. It'll be from the south. Like our first trenches will be dug in Texas.
I disagree. Canada and China are so tight. They just had a UN biodiversity summit. Did you see this? It was hosted in Canada by China as the chairman country.
Yes, Chinese has been training over there as well. Training
Chinese interest,
hard weather.
But what does that have to do with my point about the easiest way into the U.S. is coming up through Mexico?
If you have a welcome entry port in Canada, then you don't need to trek through the jungle. You just go to Canada because you're welcome.
But here's the crazy part. We're not having influxes of migrants coming down from Canada. They're coming up from Mexico.
But see, I'm seeing what Flow State is saying. Listen to me. I'm gonna make this real simple.
No, I agree. It makes sense.
Look here at the southern border, while the northern border over here is doing this, and that's the whole point, is that they are flooding the fucking southern border to where that's the problem, man. We got to southern.
Well, I'm not saying you got to pick one or the other. I'm saying why not do both?
China and Russia troops have been training in Canada up there. The Trudeau just pretty much banned all guns, basically, man. Semi-automatics.
Pick Canada or Mexico.
Why not both? Them people in Canada, man, dude, I'm telling you, and really, if you look at it, Canada, if I'm not mistaken, Canada, there's only a certain part of Canada that actually gets used. But the majority of the people are in pretty close proximity to the border.
Yeah, they're like on the border.
Yeah, and so when you go north of that, you got the hard terrain and the harsh terrain, and these people are training, man. That is actually, to me, I think one of the best absolute strategic strike force places ever.
Now I will agree with you, both of you guys, on that. If you had an unfettered access to the Canadian tundra, to where you could bring in troops, equipment, and be able to feed and clothe them and keep them warm, I'm talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of troops.
All you got to do is put them on a train.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Put them on a train.
But the problem is you don't have to worry about any of that logistic shit. If you mass all your troops in Mexico, I mean, the borders are wide open. We've got, 2 million in the country this year. 2 million in the country this year. That's larger than our military force right now. 2 million undocumented in the country this year. And if you can put some whatever's up in Canada to distract people, I mean, if I was going to invade the U.S., I wouldn't say, hey, I just come up through Mexico. I'd be like, fuck that. I'll come up through Mexico, but maybe I distract some people with Canada and bring some stuff through there as well. But especially when it comes to bombers, nukes, some strategic tactical stuff, it's way easier to come across the North Pole than, all there across the Atlantic or the Pacific. But
you go across the Pacific. You just land on a port on the west coast of Canada, throw shit on trains. You got everything on trains. It distributes you across the northern border. You don't have to deal with rusty equipment going through jungles. You don't have to try to get a mob of people together that are carrying backpacks through swamps.
I understand that. I do. But here's the problem. Why aren't they doing that?
But listen,
they're just walking across the fucking Rio Grande right now.
I know,
Today,
but
right now.
it is a sleight of hand trick. Listen,
That's
who
what
do
I'm
you
saying.
think?
It can be either
Hold
way.
on, hold on. Just listen to me for a minute, Ghost. Who do you think owns all of the California ports?
China has for years.
Exactly. Now, go up to Canada and go up to Alaska and up in that area. You know what I'm saying? Go all up in that area and look at what's going on. They're already taking some of the land up there.
But here's the thing. They own the ports in every continent on the planet. I don't think China would ever invade us. They don't want to. They don't need to.
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong.
Why would they invade us? Why would they invade us if they already own us?
Listen. Okay, listen. Think about this for a minute. We out there that oppose any kind of socialist or communistic thinking,
right?
We are a detriment to them, and we are useless trash. We have heard our own politicians call us this.
Right.
Basket of deplorables. We're racist. We're this. We're that. We're this. We're that. We're the horrible fucking people. And if you think about it, look at again, like I said, the California and all that shit. Think about it. What did Eric Swallowell get caught doing? That is Bang Bang right for a long time. Who was a CCP? Okay. Look at there's multiple ones of them down there that have a lot of Chinese ties. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at the way that it's being done, there is multiple containers being shipped into the United States from the West Coast because China owns it. That belongs to China. They are shipping it to their properties all over the United States. And none of that is getting checked. It is going unchecked, just like the southern border. What the hell is in them containers? I can tell you one thing that I know for sure. I've seen it. I've seen them, and I've seen them multiple times. Is them containers that fucking lid lifts up, and there's fucking rocket launchers in there. Why is the Chinese? These places that they're going, all the Chinese are buying up and doing everything they can to buy up property all around our bases, our military bases, and our communication bases. This is a fact. Look it up. Why do you think Ron DeSantis just pretty much is making they're making a law in Florida where Chinese these CCP type people can't buy land in Florida? They're basically banning them from buying land.
Yeah.
And they want other states to follow. There's a reason for this, man.
I see it, but like from a military standpoint, if I was in charge of China, all right, I'm in control of the supply chain, all your technology, all your chips, everything. I own Walmart, okay? I'm China. I own Walmart, all right, which is like literally the fucking backbone of America right now.
Absolutely.
I own iPhone production. Like I'm China. I own all that shit. And you're America. All these guns, gun behind every blade of grass. All these patriotic Americans that are just gonna fucking fight till the end. It goes back to World War II.
People will fight. So
what was that general's name that said, I think we just awoken a sleeping dragon? And he was right, and they got their fucking ass kicked. So now I'm thinking about it from a third person point of view. If I'm China, if I'm in control of China and I want to rule the U.S., I don't need to occupy the U.S. to rule the U.S. What I need to do is I need to own all the farmland. Oh, wait a minute.
That is occupying.
I've already got somebody that's buying up all the farmland, don't I? Yeah, that guy that owns like everything.
I know.
All I need to do is own all the ports. All I need to do is control the supply chain. You know, if you
And they
control
do.
the way people feed, the way people eat, the way people move, the way that people communicate,
But
why
that is
would
an
I ever
invasion.
need to come over here and bleed on your dirt? Why would I need to get dirty in your driveway if I own your fucking driveway?
Why would you want to alert people that they've been invaded if they don't know it?
That's my point. I already own you. Why do I need to invade?
That's
I don't need to bleed. I
But
own
that's
your
what I'm
shit.
saying. They have already and are still invading us by doing these things, and people are
Yeah.
buying
I
into
don't
the
think
shit.
it will ever be a
Well,
invasion
actually,
ground war thing.
people are not even realizing that it's going on because they're too busy talking about the racism. This goes back to what I was talking about
They're too
earlier.
busy doing racism, watching TikTok, doing YouTube
look
videos.
here while this hand does this.
Mhm.
That's what it's all about, and it's all about money, man. These big clubs that we ain't in, that's my point, man, is these people they have been playing a long game for a long time, man. And
And
you
as soon
know,
as the dollar goes away, as soon as it's no longer the world reserve currency, as soon as it crashes, everything falls apart.
it's
The government,
already gone. It's
you know,
already
the problem with America right now, and I'll tell you right now, my personal opinion, my personal American opinion, the problem with America right now is our system of government worked when there were a few million people in America. Right now, there's almost 400 million people documented in America. It's too many people. It's too many people to have a vote. It's too many people to have a vote that you can verify. I think America, not only, I guess the term is balkanized. I think every state should be responsible for itself, but responsible for the union. I think every state, when it comes to a presidential election and all that stuff, it should be done by the state. And then the state says, this is the cat we voted for. This is the cat we want, that by the state, not federal, not this on CNN. We just came in, we predict this. You ain't got to predict shit because I ain't called you yet, motherfucker. Don't predict the vote for North Carolina because I haven't picked up the phone and told you who won. It should be done by the state the way they see fit. And then those state representatives legitimately be held accountable for. They don't get to fly on their G5s to Washington, every other week, wasting fucking money. You represent the state of North Carolina. You live in North Carolina. You stay in North Carolina. You can phone in your shit. You can Zoom your shit. You don't have to get on a plane and live in DC for 3 weeks out of the month while we pay for it. I think each state should be autonomous. I think each state should be autonomous and held accountable for their own actions.
What up, Serbian?
That's the problem.
Hey, Ghost, here's the thing, man. All right, so you talked about crashing and this and that and whatever. They have already crashed the dollar, man. I mean, let's just sit here and do
they ain't crashed it yet. They're milking that motherfucker for all it's worth.
No, hold on. Let's do some simple math. What is the dollar actually worth right now? I mean, when you add in when you add in about 35% taxes, and then you add on top of that the 8.5% that they're saying percent inflation, and then you add on the gas tax, and you add on the food tax, and you add on this tax, and you add on that tax, how much is your dollar actually worth? Because I'm gonna say that this is why these socialists and these communists push for us to have a 70 or 80% tax deal, because
we are socialists.
Crash something. We are already there. I guarantee socialists. If you add up everything, I guarantee you we're close to probably at least 60 to 70% taxes are in other words, 60 to 70% of your dollar is gone before you get goods.
Another thing is too, back to is what you're saying is, what is your dollar worth? Your dollar is worth nothing.
It's
because it's not backed by anything. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by the gold standard. So your dollar is literally worth whatever the fuck they tell you it's worth until the shit falls apart. It's a fiat currency. It has no backing.
Right. And that's what I'm getting at is they have come to a point, they have got us to a point now to where they are pretty much done away with the dollar. And a lot of these countries, do what?
Sorry, it's the end run. They started the end run in 2020 with the shutdowns and the stimulus. They're just squeezing all the value out of the dollar as they can get. They're sending it to Ukraine, to Zelensky.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're milking it for all it's worth until it collapses. And then
I think
there's
it's worth
the start of it.
Pointing out that we are a fascist economy. The government chooses the private sector winners. It's a marriage of public and private enterprises. So when you have, and you're right, the average American spends over half of their income in taxes, in overt taxes, and taxes, licenses, fees. Then you've got inflation, which is the invisible tax. That's way higher than they say it is, obviously. So when you're spending 70% of your income funding a state that decides which private entities win, like Amazon, somehow an internet book company became the hugest big brother entity there is, that's a fascist society. That's not a free market economy. It's fascism. So
I love the way that you brought up Amazon. You got Amazon, you got Apple, and you got Facebook. And they're all like started in a garage or a college dorm, and they blew up. Right. Give me a fucking break. That was money from Big Brother that said, you know what, that's a great fucking idea. We can control this market and use this shit.
Absolutely.
Everything Elon Musk does is PR.
How many times has the Amazon server ever crashed? Or Facebook?
Once. Google took down the whole internet one time to prove it could.
Yeah. But you remember how many times MySpace crashed?
No,
on a regular basis. MySpace, it was like, fuck. But it would come back up pretty quick. But that was nowhere near the traffic that Amazon gets, that Facebook gets, or that Google gets. But their shit doesn't crash. But yet I'm here on YouTube streaming and my shit crashes like 4 or 5 times an hour. But I can go straight to Amazon. Oh, my internet works. What the fuck? So it works on the internet.
On government contracts,
but not for YouTube.
The world runs on government contracts. That's how our whole economy runs on the macro scale. And barriers to entry are massive. You're not allowed to have an entry company, a competition in any of the important fields. You can't start a hot dog stand legally for less than, what was it, $8,000 to sell fucking hot dogs.
Well,
ridiculous.
I know, but the crash is coming, man. I mean, it is so ready, and they're doing, like Ghost said, everything they can do to squeeze the last bit of juice out of that orange, you know, the dollar. And when they get done with it, man, and this is why I've told people, if you've got extra money, you can play the crypto and shit and try to make some money and do what you want to do. And I said with extra money. That's all I said was extra money. If you do not have money to play with, then do not play with cryptocurrency, because I've seen so many times people go, oh man, this crypto over here, get this one. No, get this one over here. This one's better. What people need to understand is the World Economic Forum wants a one world currency, and it will be cryptocurrency, but it will not be anything that is on the market today. They will have their own shit, and this is what people need to understand. This is why I say do not keep bunches of money in the bank. The bank can do what's called a bank holiday. They have it in the laws and shit. They have Congress has helped them, and they got it to where they can say, hey, we can't pay our debts no more, and we're going to use the assets of the bank to pay our debts. It is lawful lawful for them to do that. The assets are what you put into the bank.
The depositor is an unsecured creditor.
Yes, because you willfully put that money in there and trust them to hold your money. Back in the day, there were times you could probably say it was pretty secure. That is not any longer the case. Like for me and my wife, the only money that ever goes into our bank accounts, because we have multiple ones for a reason, but the only reason is to pay bills. That's it. That's it. Because I'm telling you, it will happen on a Friday. It will be called a bank holiday. And all of a sudden, your ATM card, your debit card, will no longer work. And you will go and you'll be like, and they will make an announcement. We have a new system ready to launch in place.
Look for a small local bank. So I worked in banking. I was a bank officer for 10 years. And my advice to people would be to find a small local bank.
You want me to tell you what my small local bank did to me? No bullshit. This is
Probably
no
not.
bullshit. This is a small local bank. They're probably 4 counties, maybe 3, maybe 4 counties. You know what? So, all right, we went in there. I was going to buy a bass boat, $6,500. It was a used bass boat. So me and the dude, you know, they approved my loan, right? Me and the dude went in there. We exchanged, you know, paperwork, because that's all it was. We, you know, exchanged some signatures, yada yada. The bank now owned my boat, with me paying it, you know, paying it off on a monthly scale. So this actually happened. This is what's really weird. It actually happened on a Friday. So I go fishing the next morning. I just bought this bass boat. I'm definitely going fucking fishing. So I pull up to the gas station that morning to put gas in my truck. It needed another gallon of oil in the boat, you know, oil mix. And it you know, I got some biscuits, gravy, you know what I'm saying, breakfast and all that. I'm going fishing. It denied my fucking card. I was like, whoa, wait, whoa. What do you mean? Well, guess what?
They pulled the payment before they funded the loan.
It was too early in the morning. It was too early in the morning for the bank to be open. I had to sit there until 9 fucking o'clock before my local bank opened up. So I got hold of this dude, and guess what he said? Oh, well, I'm sorry. That is a normal banking policy that to cover the loan, we put a freeze on your account. And I was like, whoa, wait, what do you mean cover the fucking loan? You signed, you know, you had me sign a piece of paper that said you were loaning me the money. I'm not covering shit. You are. Why did you take my fucking money out? Dude was like, well, man, I'm sorry, but that's just bank policy. And I said, I tell you what, brother, the best thing for you to do, you got 2 choices. And I mean this to the bottom of my heart. You got 2 choices. You either put that money back in my account, or by the time I get to you, you better have taken off work, because I'm going to whip your fucking ass. And I mean that to the bottom of my heart, because y'all loaned me the money. Y'all approved my credit. Y'all loaned me the money. I signed the piece of paper. We switched title, yada, yada. You got my title, you know, all this. Dude goes, man, you can't treat me like that. And I said, okay, I'll be there here. I'll be there in an hour. I'll be there in an hour. I was about an hour away at the lake. I said, I'll be there in an hour. That motherfucker called me right back, and he goes, dude, hold up, go fishing. I just moved all the money back in the bank, and we waived the late fee for the first payment. And I was like, whoa, wait, what'd you just fucking say? Well, we waived the late fee for the first payment. And I said, the first payment's not due till the first of the month.
Was it the overdraft fee? Are you sure it wasn't an overdraft fee? Because
dude, the boat was $6,500, and I had $4,000 in that account, and they took every fucking dime. They froze my account.
So what they were doing? What happened? It wasn't nefarious. It was sloppy, but the transactions went through. The way the transactions process is they processed the cash out to pay for the boat before the funds in had cleared.
But see, that's why I don't deal with banks no more, because it's a big crooked fucking scam.
For what it's worth, that dude really wasn't trying to dick you over. It wasn't nefarious. It was poor banking and sloppy.
He told me that's just the way it is. And I told him, when I get there and whoop your ass, that's just going to be the way it is.
Hey, I don't blame you. There's a lot of shit like that. That is it is how the system operates. There's nothing he could do about it, except he should have explained it to you and gotten in front of it so that you didn't have this situation. But it's
I don't deal
it's
with
just a shortcoming in the system. It's not nefarious.
Dude, when they get pissed at me every time to this day. I'll go take a $1,500 check in there because I have a mowing business. I do all the work myself. I go take like a $1,500 check in there, and I tell them, I said, I want, I'll figure it out, and I'll be like, all right, I need, $280 in the bank to pay my bills, pay my mower payments, whatever, for whatever week, yada yada. And I say, I want the rest in cash. What? Well, that's like, like over $1,000 in cash. And I'm like, I don't care. That's my money. I want it. And they're like, well, you've got a debit card. Why don't you just use it? And I said, because I don't want to use it. I want to use cash. I want my cash. And I always take that cash and turn it into hard assets. I don't let it sit in the bank because I don't trust these motherfuckers. Plain and simple.
I'm so glad to not be a banker anymore, man. I hated that shit.
It's bullshit, man. What they do to people, man.
The money was good, but the life, yeah. No.
You know what's really fucked up? This small ass town with the small ass fucking bank that I was at. Do you know they made me get a fucking business account? They refused to cash my fucking check, and I go to church with every single one of them motherfuckers in there. Or I did. I don't go to church no more, but I've been living here for over 20 years. They all fucking know me. Two of the women in that bank, actually, their kids play volleyball with my daughter. We have sat in the stands together, and they would not cash my fucking check from the phone company that's just right down the street that one of them bought some fucking property from, that, from the owner. You know what I'm saying?
I've changed my recommendation. I've changed my recommendation. I no longer recommend you find a local small bank.
Thank you. That's why I don't fuck with these people no more, man. I've got a car sitting out here, man. It's a little Acura, the RSX. I paid cash money for the motherfucker, man. It kind of took a lump out of one of my little savings deal, but I paid cash for it. I could have easily went down and got a little small loan. You know what I'm saying? Yada yada. Fuck them, man. I ain't dealing with the banks no more. I'll pay cash for shit, and when I cash my check, I want my motherfucking money. And if I need to come over there and whoop a bitch's ass or a dude, whoever's on the other side of that, then so be it. I told you, I'm tired of the bullshit. It don't have to be that fucking serious. It don't have to be always that fucking hard to do shit. They just make it harder and harder and harder, and they get more corruption and more corruption. And people like us, they just fucking piss us to the wind, and we're the only ones fucking making them money. Because if nobody put their money in the bank, guess what? Them motherfuckers ain't got a job. Just like the politicians. If we stop fucking paying taxes, everybody in this country stop paying taxes for a week, I guarantee you these motherfuckers will bow down to what we fucking say.
We could also stop voting.
That too.
They'll make up their own numbers.
They will. They do anyways.
Not like it hasn't happened before. Just saying.
It's too important of a thing to actually leave up to popular vote.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, this motherfucking moonshine is good as fuck.
All right, y'all. I'm fixing to go to bed. Maybe.
Thanks for having me on. Good talking to you guys again.
You too, brother.
Take it easy.
Thanks to everybody in the chat. Backwoods. Appreciate it, brother. As always, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.
Peace out, y'all. Peace out, y'all.
Good night.
Ewans.
Good
Good
night.
night, Ewans. There's a long black